What's up, everybody? Episode 5. This is going to be the one to wrap up this U20 series that we've been doing for over a month now during quarantine. I'm excited about this last one. We're going to talk about philosophy, okay? Philosophy / playing style, identity, that topic, which is very, very important when it comes to our national team and to our country. From there, I'll touch a little bit of individual tactics and player selection, and we'll wrap it up with mentality. Okay, a very important component to any successful team. So when we talk about having a clear vision, a philosophy, an identity per se, there's no one way to go out and get a result. Okay, you can be, the Barcelonas that just outpossess you, pin you back against your 18, just move you side to side, change the rhythm at the right time, break a line and go and score a goal, and then they just pass you to death after that. You can go to Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool and their success lately with their rock and roll, dynamic, end-to-end football, just super offensive and run and gun. You can tone it down a notch, your Atletico Madrid, right? Setting traps into wide channels, their 4-4-2, bunkering, winning, balls and intercepting balls or winning your crosses and then countering you with their ultra dynamic forwards. You could take it down a whole nother level to Greece and their 2004 success with parking the bus, okay? There's many different ways to win, that's my point, okay? But, and it's a big, big but, the teams that are your international success stories, the ones that end up winning big tournaments and competing at the highest levels, or the club sides that are winning their leagues or winning Champions Leagues, those are the ones that prioritize possession football. Those are the ones that prioritize having technical players with good high-level soccer IQs. So it's important. As it applies to our national team, it was music to my ears. Greg Berhalter's introductory press conference, he's talking about ball circulation, owning the game, breaking lines, creating goal-scoring chances, being a high-pressing team. To be a high-pressing team, you got to have all 11 players, the 10 players and your goalkeeper on their half of the field. Not the goalkeeper, but 10 players on their half of the field to be able to repress. So as he's saying these things, I'm like, this is beautiful. This is the soccer I identify with. This is something I've been waiting for my entire lifetime. I don't recall ever sitting down and watching a U.S. soccer national team and saying, wow, this is a clear-cut identity. This is how we're playing today. It was just randomness, okay? That's just a fact, in my opinion, of course. All right, so it's exciting times. All of this now, how it applies to our U20 national team. Player selection. We're talking about being a possession-based unit, okay? You got to pick the right players or it all falls apart. Fortunately, I did the homework, I did the hard job, I did the hardest portion of it all. They're right here, I named them in episode 1. Quick review. David Ochoa in goal, technically solid. He could put a ball wherever he wants it. He reads the game well. It's critical to having a possession-based team. If you don't believe that a goalkeeper is huge in this, we could go to Pep Guardiola. He arrived at Manchester City and he bounced. He showed him the door right away. Joe Hart, England international, Manchester City legend, just didn't fit that playing style. Couldn't play football out of the back, all right? He didn't have those attributes. So we have other goalkeepers with other attributes, but they can't play out of the back like David. That's why he's the consensus pick, okay? We go to left back. I talked about Kobe Hernandez-Foster being Marcelo-esque. He's smooth. He could skip out of things in terms of dribbling. He sees things. He can play out before the pressure comes. He just reads the game so well, and he's the technically sound with a high soccer IQ that can solve problems. Sliding inside, Leo Sepulveda. Not too many people know his capabilities, and you will soon, okay? As a ball-playing central defender, that's the new fad ever since the Barcelona days. Everybody's got to have a center back that can play football. Well, this is our best one, not just in our U20 player pool, I think beyond. He is so silky smooth on the ball. His disguised passes, his diagonal ball, his technique, his field awareness and vision to anticipate things offensively, not just defensively, is second to none, okay? And it's important. I recall watching the Gold Cup final live time, and I haven't rewatched it ever since, to be honest, but I recall Aaron Long playing left center back, Miazga was at right center back, and Tata Martino. When you go up against a high-level tactician and a good team, they game plan and they force you to your weakness. So they expose Aaron Long. They have Raul Jimenez, pull away and deny Miazga possession. It gets to Aaron Long. Aaron Long, not his strong suit, okay? Is he a good defender? Is he athletic? Can he win duels? All of the above, yes. But when it comes to ball playing, he struggles. He couldn't break a line. He couldn't play forward. He would always have to turn and reset when a central midfielder would jump out and press him. It would go to Stefan. Stefan would force a long ball. it would be 50-50. And, we had a couple lucky instances early in the game where we could have gone up 1 or 2-0. It didn't work out for us, and it would all break down. Bottom line, the possession plan, the game plan, the thing that Gray wanted to do, it broke down because one player couldn't handle it. So when it comes to our U20s, the players that I named can handle it. We moved to Owen Okasawi, technically sound, smart, can move the ball. I don't know at what level because I haven't seen him live. It's the only one that the jury's still out on, but he's the right complement for Leo's skill set. Julian Araujo, I was very clear. He's not your guy. He's not your Serginho who's going to drive into these spaces. He's not going to overlap Gio and give you service, and we don't need him to. I said it in episode 1. Stay-at-home defender, but he's technically sound. He could connect the pass. He could play Taylor Booth and get us out. He could connect through Indy. He could reset through Owen. He could go to David Ochoa. It will not break down bottom line, okay? Midfield, quick review. The 3 guys, Taylor Booth, Indy Vasilev, and Efrain Alvarez. Technicians, high soccer IQ, calm on the ball, smooth, can dribble out of situations, can pass out of situations, read the game. Their computers go faster than all their competitors in our pool. Okay, that's why they're there. I read some comments about these guys are going to get physically ran over when we play a good opponent. Nonsense. Okay, we're going to have the ball with this team, with these players. Yeah, hey, these guys would get crushed and ran over if we didn't have a left back or center back or right back or guys that are competent on the ball and we weren't a possession-based team. If we're going to trade punches, this is not our midfield. That's the whole point here. We're a possession-based team. Those are the players that are going to execute the job, all right? Moving to the wings, we know Uli and Gio, our best players. I argue they need to be on this team. We've gone over that. I don't need to keep beating that drum, all right? So we understand what they bring to the table. They're the difference makers. They're the match winners. The uniqueness of this left channel brings us, into the tactical component of Uli being able to operate inside and half spaces, okay? Because these 2 guys should never be in the same channel. Uli inside, he operates well. He can combine with Efra. He can make a difference. He can overload the middle. Kobe, unique skill set, could come inside. Good teams are going to mark Taylor Booth. No problem. We bring Kobe inside, we overload, now they have a decision to make. Uli's the wide option, and then Kobe gives us central numbers. End of story. We have players that can execute at this level. On the right side, Gio's going to have this all to himself, okay? To make a difference, to be, like I said, Richarlison, dynamic, explosive, one-on-one player. Teams may go in 2v1 Gio. Fantastic. That's going to open it up centrally for Efra, for Indy, for Uli, for Kobe's side. No problem. Pick your poison. But if Gio's in a one-on-one situation with the guys that can actually feed him the ball, Kobe, Leo, Booth, Indy, Efra, Uli, all these guys are going to get him the ball. He's going to get 10, 15 touches in the final third per half where he can make a difference for this team. Pepe, what is he here for? To finish the plays. He's the only one that I said is technically proficient enough to combine with these technical players. I stand by that to this day, and he's going to be our 9 until somebody proves me otherwise. All right? So the player selection is there. Quick recap. Now the tactics come into play. And I'm talking about X's and O's being important. Whew. Throughout my lifetime, guys, I've seen it all, okay? I've always thought that we didn't have enough tactical nuance at the highest levels, at the professional levels, and MLS, at the national teams, youth national teams. And I was right because, I've been going and actually seen it firsthand for 15 years now, and we don't have the tactical nuance of the X's and O's like it's done at the highest levels overseas, okay? Be it in South America and more so in Europe. That's just a fact. It's a reality. It's not my opinion. This is how it is here, okay? We have to graduate and get there. Fortunately, I think Berhalter and his staff are doing the job. I was in the bushes, the recent camp in January in Carson, doing my whole thing like I used to do with Bielsa, but I was watching the national team, and they were working tactically every single day. Mostly it's boring to the players. Oh, the players want to have fun. That's what I've heard historically from some of our winningest coaches here in the United States. And the reality is, no, it's about business. It's about getting W's. It's about teaching these players who already have a higher pedigree than what we used to in the past. In the past, at this level, we had college players who came from, I don't want to say lowly environments, but when you got to the national team, it was somebody with more experience, and you saw it and you said, oh, okay, I'll listen to what this coach says. This has changed dramatically now. All these guys are in professional environments, some in European first-team environments, some in MLS first-team environments. So we need to get to training pitch, and they need to buy in right away. We'll get to that mental piece, but I just want to go over a little bit of tactics right here in my living room. I have the tactics board. I don't have players. I don't have a field, so I can't go over every scenario. I'm going to touch on build-out today, all right? And I'm going to give you several scenarios as it pertains to a possession-based team. For example, okay, you get a goal kick and you want to be a possession-based team. All right, let me get everybody set in place before we start going into motion, all right? Possession-based team, I've seen it over the years at every level again, where we say we play possession, but the second an opponent gives you a different look and comes and man marks you in the build out, what do we generally see? Either the coach gets up and says, no, let's tuck it in. We don't want to play. We don't want to mess around. Or the goalkeeper panics and he's like, no, I can't do this. We tuck it in, okay? That can't be the case when you have a team that's built for possession like this. Okay, you have to have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, and it has to be rehearsed on the training pitch. And fortunately, I'm going to give some examples, and this pertains to only build out, okay? So, for example, somebody wants to deny us doing what we do best, building out, because that's what happens at these levels. If I could reference Pep coaching Man City against FC Barcelona, he showed up to the Camp Nou, he's like, nope, you guys aren't building out. But Luis Enrique had a plan for that. He knew that he was not going to be man marked on the day, and they had solutions that led to goals in their build-out. So here's a few, okay? We create this big space because it's all about exploiting space. It's all about creating opportunities in the opposite end of the field. In this open space, we have David Ochoa, the key piece. If we have some scrub that can't connect the pass, we're in big trouble. Fortunately, he could clip a ball wherever we need him to. On a visual cue, David will signal it. Okay, he'll clip a ball into Efra, who shows up here in the central midfield. Boom, on the money. Efra, technically sound. He could drop a ball effortlessly. He doesn't have to think about it. He just does it, okay? At the same time, Taylor Booth will change his rhythm. As the ball is in flight, he will lose his man who's on him. He will be his man to the spot underneath Efra. Ball will get dropped off to Taylor Booth. Right-footed, he will square a ball over to Kobe coming into the space. And now we have just broke a line of 5 or 6 opponents, and we're going 5v4 to goal, and that's a high percentage play for us, okay? It could break down technically, but with these types of players, it will not. And if it breaks down technically, you have coverage here, okay? You have your guys in a place while thinking defense while on offense. So this is another example of what we can do if we're being man-marked instead of just tucking it all in, using our players' strengths to a T, okay? Another example. Let's do this. We bring Kobe inside. We bring Julian inside. That frees up the wide channel space, okay? We have, again, technical players that can execute at a high level. We have to choose, and we don't let the players choose. We give them examples of which way we should play. So David Ochoa, I'm at training. I say, hey, David, if you have a choice, do you play Leo and Kobe, or do you play Owen and Julian based on their characteristics? Hopefully, David's bright and says, hey, listen, I think these two guys are better in the build-out. Let's go up the left channel. Good answer, David. Ball gets inbounded to Leo. As Leo receives, Uli loses his man, comes into this space. Good entry pass from Leo. On the money, I told you he's the best one we have. At the same time, all timing involved, Kobe loses his man to the spot. Uli drops it off, and now Kobe has options. Does this space open up, and can he just drive through it? Does he get it and with his top-level technique, spray a ball to Gio, change the point of attack? Does he hit Pepe, who's running into this channel? We can have several variations. It's choreography, guys. It's NBA playbook. It's NFL playbook to an extent where you empower the players to make a decision, but they have the concept in their head because they've seen it on the training field. That's the second example, okay? We can go one more good example, okay? Being a little bit more direct than normal. So, envision this. We're man-marked again, okay? Let me get the blue guys off the field. Just envision it. We're being man-marked again, and we're going to be a little bit more direct this time, but direct with high percentage and rehearsed, okay? Efra can show up and be a decoy. His man will follow him into this space. Great. David will ping a ball, and he can choose which way we want to go, who he wants to match up with. He'll ping a ball into an area where Pepe will be the guy flicking on. Uli will be making a diagonal run behind. Gio will be making a diagonal run behind, and we can already bypass, again, 5 or 6 guys and get in behind and create a goal-scoring chance. Or, if they win the ball, everybody changes their speed and their rhythm and come and gets numbers around the ball if it drops back here for a second ball, okay? So, again, guys, it's a plan. Have it rehearsed. Train it, okay? Or, hey, very simple. Just starting points, everybody at their starting points. Isolate Pepe. let's say their left back's a little bit weaker, shorter, isolate Pepe, David could ping a ball here, and everybody changes their rhythm and comes underneath and wins the second ball. Is that better than a 50-50 just random play? Absolutely. Do a lot of people do this? Possibly. But I want tactical nuance. It's time. These players need it, and this is just an example in build-outs. We can go on and on situation. There's so many variables. Are we playing a team that's a medium block? Are we playing a team that's a low block? Are we playing a 4-4-2? Are we playing against a 4-2-3-1? Are we playing against a pressing team? There's so many variables depending on your opponent, okay? And bottom line, in CONCACAF, there is no issue, okay? We're going to beat El Salvador. We're going to beat Costa Rica. We're going to beat Nicaragua. We're going to beat St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're going to crush Mexico. With this group, we will boss everybody. And tactical nuance won't be that important, okay? I'm going to exaggerate it, but my Uber driver can sit down on the bench and be quiet there and field this team, and they'll win the game. But when we get to the highest levels, I'm talking about going to the World Cup and getting to the Final Four, a semifinalist, making a difference. We need tactical nuance. We need a different level now, all right? Hey, I'll give another example when it comes to me. Some people, coaching education. I remember US Soccer had a coaching course. They all came with the coaching directors. I don't know what license it was. And they watched one of our sessions at the Galaxy. They're like, what the hell's going on here? It was a 1-hour throw-in session. And people came and asked, oh, Brian, like, okay, I see it, but like, what's going on? Well, we have a possession-based team where we want to own the game, and the ball goes out of bounds, right? Yeah. Okay, so it's real life. We have 20, 30 throw-ins a game, and it's different to have a throw-in in your own third, in the middle third, or in the final third. You have to have an objective. What do you want to do when it's in your own third? You don't want to lose it, that's for sure. So there's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 plays to get out of that situation. In the middle third, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to hurt your opponent? Do you want to switch your opponent attack? Do you want to pause the game? Are you winning? Are you losing? And then in the final third, plays designed to go and hurt your opponent. And they're like, wow, okay, yeah. We never thought of that. Okay, well, I never thought of it either. I learned. I went and I copied somebody with successful formula for attention to details. So that's what this game is, guys, is details make the difference. And on a tactical level, it could be all kinds of things, guys. There's plans for breaking down a 4-5-1 in the final third. We just got to rehearse it. And the players have to understand in transition what their roles are, in attack what their roles are, and defense what their roles are, and have clear understanding of that. Which leads me to my final point, the mental piece, okay? And the mental piece is twofold. All these players that I named, I mean, half of them I know on a personal level. I know what their mentality is. I know how their training habits are. Some of them I don't. Some of them, and we all know how professional athletes are, some of them are gamers. They don't do much in training. They can't receive information, retain it, and then apply it. They're just gamers. Let's just go. Allen Iverson. What are we talking about? Practice? Nah, let's just ball it up to Larry Brown, okay? So bottom line is, I don't know some of these players, but it's important that in the professional environments they're in, that they are receptive to information. On the flip side, this is the last example I'll give. The coaching staff, I don't know them either. I don't know Anthony Hudson, I'll confess. I haven't watched any of his trajectory at Colorado or his youth national team experience in New Zealand. But he's going to have to come in, sell this vision to the players, okay, this possession-based vision. He's going to have to not just talk about it, show it on the training pitch, and get buy-in. Get buy-in from high-level players who aren't just college lowly players like in 10 years past or 20 years ago. These are real players in real environments, playing big-time games, and their understanding, their tactical understanding is at such a high level now compared to what it used to be that we need somebody that can sell this. Okay, an example, Marcelo Bielsa, my coaching role model, 1999, took over the Argentine national team. Everybody there was like, who is this guy? From players to media questioning it, myself included. He had a little domestic success. He wasn't the big name that he is today, for example, okay? Bielsa comes in and he pitches this vision to his players, all right? And everybody's like, okay, sounds great, coach, all right, let's go to the training pitch. Defenders, you're with me, 9 a.m. to 10:30. Midfielders, 10:30 to noon. Forwards, from noon to 1:30. And players all look at each other like, what's up with this? This guy's crazy, and that is his nickname, El Loco Bielsa. So they get to the training pitch and they're like, I don't know about this. You know, they go through a whole camp, a whole cycle where nobody saw each other. They're like, this guy's crazy. There's no chance. Until he pieced it all together. They all came together. They put that field product on the field, and the players, superstars, okay? Gabriel Batistuta, Hernan Crespo, Diego Simeone, Juan Sebastián Verón, Matías Almeida, Javier Zanetti, Roberto Ayala, Ariel Ortega. cracks, top level players playing in top level environments, they bought in, they started crushing everybody, and they're like, yes, this is our guy. To the extent that obviously Pochettino and Simeone and a lot of these coaches now are this guy's disciples, Bielsa's disciples. Back to the U20s and how it applies. Hudson and staff are going to have to sell it. They're going to have to transmit it on the training pitch, and our big-time players are going to have to interpret it, have the right mentality, have the right approach to take it to the next level, okay? Long gone are the days of this, throwing down the credenciales, okay? Okay, guys, today we're going to be playing in a 4-3-3, and, you're the center forward, and you're the right forward, and I'll be here being your cheerleader on the sideline. No, those days are long gone, and trust me, in all the environments, high level professional environments in our country up until recently, this was the norm, okay? Now it's got to be extinguished. It's got to be extinct. We got to move on from this, and I think we're growing in that direction. Bottom line, as it comes to our U20 and our senior men's national team and finally having this identity and playing possession-based football, I will repeat it. We have the players. They are right here. There is no excuse to go in a different route or say, hey, let's bring in George Campbell instead of Leo, or hey, let's bring in a more athletic specimen because Pepe doesn't have it, or oh, Efra lacks a little bit of bite, let's bring in a grinder. No. We've graduated from that, okay? The philosophy has been stated by our top leadership, and now we have to follow suit all the way behind it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Moving on to wrap up this U20 series and move on to something else, I want to do a Q&A to wrap it up next week, so please submit any questions. It could be about lineup, player pool, depth, Gio topic, Efra topic, tactics. Brian, you don't know what you're talking about. Whatever you want to write or ask away, and I'll try to get to everybody's questions in next week's episode. Hope you enjoyed.